it's beautiful here in Zagreb. It's kind of a springy day, which makes it a super time for our conversation. So in terms of our 27th EMCC Global Conference, it's coming up fast, right? In less than 2 months.
Yeah.
And you will be one of the speakers there. I'm so looking forward. So to start our conversation today, could you tell me a little bit about your background, Elaine?
Sure. I'm Irish, obviously, and I was brought up in Ireland in a small town. My father was in the army and my mother was a nurse. I had 2 sisters, very normal, happy Irish childhood. Went to University College Dublin and took a law degree, and then went on to train as a solicitor, and then came over to England and studied as a lawyer for a while, and then changed direction more into a business focus. And yeah, I would say that I've quite a bit of background in business, and I've run a previous business before coming a coach. And I live in Nottingham, and I can see the lights of Trent Bridge cricket ground from where I am, for those of you who know anything about the game of cricket, international cricket and test cricket. And I live here with my husband. We've got 3 children who are all grown up now. Well, the youngest is 18. He's in his halls taking his first year doing law, surprisingly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
In the blood. Yeah. So that's it, really. Yeah.
The lawyer coming up in the family. Yeah. Great. Thank you, Elaine. In terms of your, every coach, every mentor has the really own unique story, how they came into coaching. It's really different, and people from all walks of life and all types of backgrounds. So could you tell us a bit more about your training as a coach? What was your journey there?
Sure. At the time when I started to look into coaching, I was actually running a technical training center here in Nottingham. It was more focused on Microsoft technical training qualifications, and I co-ran and co-owned that with a colleague of mine. And I realized that managing the business wasn't giving me as much satisfaction, and I was envious of the people who were kind of in the training room. And allied with that, I always had a really strong interest in psychology, a lot of books around development, motivation, etc. And I just happened to pick up a book, work in a bookshop, and it was about coaching, and I just started to read about it. There was less videos, of course, in those days.
Yes.
And with the passage of time, we decided we'd had enough of that particular business. We sold it. And I then went on to have another child, and then retrained as a coach at that point in my late 30s.
Wow.
And that's it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
so
beautiful.
it was 18 years ago, 19 years ago. So I've seen a lot of changes in the profession and the craft of coaching and mentoring over that time, obviously.
Indeed, that's already you are already 2 decades in a profession practically.
Yeah.
Elaine, in terms of your association with EMCC, which is really way beyond now European, it's global. What is your association, and how do you see this partnership with EMCC Global?
Well, I've been a member of EMCC since I first started practicing. So it's brilliant to be here and to be able to make a contribution to the 27th conference, which is amazing when you think about it. And I know it was started off, by people like Professor Clutterbuck and various individuals who are committed to trying to put some standardization and regulation around it and really show best practice. And that's what I really appreciate about the EMCC, and now that it's global, that it has such an influence and impact on the standardization. I mean, obviously, as an ex-lawyer, I'm really keen on practice and regulation and professionalism is just so important, particularly as we know, still anybody can call themselves a coach or a mentor.
Yes.
So that's my association, and I volunteered, you know, over the years for various things, but fundamentally as a facilitator. Projects. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is great. You will be having a session at the conference speaking about resilience and well-being. So in terms of that, if you would share with us, how did you come? That's one of your specialisms, right? In your own coaching practice. How did you come to choose it as a specialism? And what would you say the role of resilience and well-being is in coaching, maybe today more than ever? If you would elaborate on that a bit.
Yeah, so there's two things there. I mean, there's no doubt, just to answer the second part first, if I may, there's no doubt that we're all aware. I don't think anybody can be unaware of the impact that this global pandemic has had on all of us to a greater and lesser extent. And in a sense, as coaches, we've had our own resilience tested in terms of our adaptation to change, which is fundamentally what resilience is really about, particularly unwanted change and periods of adversity that are really difficult. In terms of the first part of the question, I came to it for two reasons. One, because I noticed that it was an underpinning thread through nearly all the coaching assignments that I engage with, because people, you know, if your resilience is really low, it's very difficult to make the kind of changes that once you've become aware of them and you've identified what it is that you want to change, achieve, etc., modify. It's very difficult to do that if your levels of resilience are very low. True. So that was it. And you know, being completely honest, it was also to do with personal experience. And I had a long period of recovery from you know, a very serious set of circumstances, and everything that I learned along that path in terms of my own recovery then has fed into my experience, and I suppose wanting to share that with other people to help them improve in terms of their coaching ability, as well as with my clients as well.
That is so brilliant. Thank you very much, Elaine. And I'm more than looking forward to the conference, to be at your session as well. And thank you very much for sharing with all of us. So see you in May.
Thank you, Nathalie. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
For now.